Okay, so this is a junk shaft that I have back there in the shaft room. You can see it's really crooked. Hopefully you can see that wobble in there. And it sounds real rough because it's, like I said, it's not a premium shaft. You can actually feel all the ridges in it and stuff. But it'll work good for this example. So, the other method of checking to see if it's straight, if you don't have an aero inspector, if you have a glass table, a marble top, quartz top, something in your kitchen that's perfectly flat, you can take your shafts and roll them across your counter. And you can see how this one just wobbles real bad because it is crooked. But you can look at the light that comes underneath your shaft there, and when you rotate, you'll see where it goes up and down. That's where the shaft is crooked. So, start with the Ace shaft tamer, I believe is what they call this one. It's a nice piece of machined aluminum with a brass wheel on here. The way you use this one is you get your arrow and you go where it's high. So this one, there's a bow and the arrow this way, and you get it and you put pressure on it and you force it down, okay? That will take some of it out. Now for ones that are really bowed, what you can do is you can sight down and get it to where it's high, and if you hold it there, you can do this on there, okay? Now, this arrow, I don't know that I'm going to get this arrow straight, to be honest with you, because the grain run out is so bad on this. I mean, you can see the grains running out on there. This arrow is just automatically going to want to recurl back. It would take quite a bit of work, but that's how you use this arrow tamers. Get on there, roll on it. Now the advantage of this one is because this roller has that groove on there, it does not compress the arrow. So it will, or excuse me, it doesn't deform the arrow. It does compress a little bit, that's how it works, but it won't mess up the diameter or the smoothness of your arrow. And the way they have that wheel made, it'll work for 5/16, 11/32, or 23/64. So not a bad option to go with right here if you don't want to use the back of your hand. Next, this is my homemade arrow hook. Like I said, I was going to show you guys tools out there that I've made and started using before I started doing this for a business. The way this hook works is you get it on there and it's the same concept. You're going to rub on that high side. When it creates friction, it will compress this side and hopefully bring that shaft back to straight. So again, you're going to look down, find that crooked side, get your hook on there, and rub on that high side. And the theory behind that is it will compress, or the way I understand it, if you have a different theory, let me know. But it will compress this side of the wood, creates a little bit of heat, and then it'll flex that other side. Since it compresses it, it'll start to straighten out your shaft and get the high side to come back in line. So there's another option for you. They do make commercial versions of this that are brass. They're really nice, but kind of spendy. That's just a homemade jobby. That's a piece of oak dowel with a hook drilled into it. Another way of doing it is get yourself a screwdriver. It's nice and smooth. Same thing. You're going to get it on there and rub on that. Now the problem with this is that this is a flat piece of steel or metal. It will flatten out your shaft. So if you're planning on cresting this later and spinning it on a spinner or something, since it puts a flat spot, it will really start to jump in your cresting machine and it'll be hard to get a really fine cresting line. So definitely an option, but not one that I recommend. Same concept. You can get a beer bottle, find the high side of the shaft, put that down, set it on the table, and take your beer bottle. And compress that down a little bit, create some friction and some heat. And you can actually see it lay the grains down when you sight down it. And I'm going to do a little bit more on this high side. It's actually, the shaft is coming around. Now, same thing though. It's going to crease or put flat spots in your shaft, and I can feel where I've actually where I've actually compressed the top side of that. And we've taken some of that wobble out of that end. You can still see it's not a good shaft. Like I said, I keep these around just to test and play different paints and stains on. The only advantage to this is the more straightening you do or the more tools you make, the less you care. Alright, so once we go through our shafts and we determine the knock and the point in, then they're going to be ready for taper. Okay? And that will be part 3. Thanks for watching. Again, if you have time, leave me a comment down below. That's the fun part of doing all this. Thank you.